Goodness gracious. My finishing piece right here. Welcome back, angels of love and light. Welcome to direct and protect these messages. My chakras, my auras, my space, my essence, my health and wellness. Today's my work, my efforts, my future, my present, my past, all dimensions, all, what do you call it, trajectories, and that of my children's. Thank you. Oh my goodness, give me a second, just popped right off. So I've been up for the past 3 hours, but luckily I did get some sleep. I didn't catch up from the prior night, but, you know, like sometimes we have to resource, kind of like skip a beat a little bit, on purpose, in order to recalibrate other things. So, I can proudly say that I have not taken any like substances in order to accelerate or decelerate, you know, to compromise my health in accelerating or decelerating the processes that need to happen. So with this court stuff, dude, like this is the first time, mark my words, this milestone, this is the first time that I have ever looked at the documents with measured confidence. So it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I was actually focused into whatever was the askings. Like when you're in business and you're like sitting down and you're just like, okay, you're manager to manager, director, whatever, to what level, you the one thing, the simple phrase that I caught on to like in a job last year, it was just a temp contract or whatever job, and it was, you know, like there were some great things learned from there. I got to see earn a certain level of respect for salespeople that I have never had before, just because like it's kind of like a sport. Like I got to see, kind of like live vicariously through them, objectively, like looking at them, how they behave, etc. And they were like, I honestly thought they were cool people, but I didn't like, it was not like through absolute direct interaction, but like within those nuances, the comparability between their display with others versus like the minimal like business aspect with me, I got to see a level of respect, like, oh wow, okay, that can be. So there were some great takeaways, even though I had to you know, that contract ended. So what was I gonna say about that? Holy smokes. I forgot what I was gonna say about that, but that was, I think, much of what I really had to say about that part. It was like a gem in disguise. So, oh, my mind's going a little, it's like, okay, so as far as stimulants and all of that, I, like, people who, have to study, like, for JD or, like, certain major certifications, like, there's some kind of, not just the bar exam, but, like, what CPAs have to do, like, and you can only, there's a certain cap on how many you can take in order to pass, and it's, like, super duper lengthy, and intense. Those people often, or even people who have to like study to become like an actual doctor, from what I understand from the horses' mouths, they and through hearsay, that it's like the only way you can get through it is through like either, you know, it's through substance abuse. And I gotta say, I am not I've not done it. It's good. I have to be proud of myself for not caving into any of that. Mm. Yeah, so I'm really happy. Like that's like one major thing. Like at ground level, regardless of who you are, um, like it's not just the approach, but like the actual being of it. Like there could be like people who are griping through the process and um having a lot of heartache behind it. And I guess this is what like it looks like when let me see. I can't really see because the light's off. I'm like I have 1 out of 4 light bulbs working right now. Yeah, the last one when it was like half and half, 50-50, shorted out when I did my first like necromancy thing. It's like insane. So that tells me a lot. Like, it's good messaging. It just shorted out when I closed the reading. That's insane. So anyway, when I say necromancy, it's just like calling upon ancestors and like as a formal intention. And we got a lot of good out of that. But let's drive back to here. So I guess this is like I turned on, well, I had to use the bathroom or whatever, so I saw myself in the mirror. I was like, oh my God, what the frick? Is that from lack of sleep? What is that? And it looked like I either had like irritation in my eyes, or, oh, that feels so good. It's just cold, or like a combination of crying, and I didn't shed a tear. How awesome is that? How awesome. The angels are doing like massive work, and so is my crew. So thank you so very much. It's not only going to be okay, it's going to be awesome. And there's some things that I might potentially have to forego that's already written on schedule, like my 4.5 hour work shift, like midday, like at like the hardiest part of the day. I think I have to call in. I think I have to, just because I have this other stuff that needs to happen. And I realized I picked up fast food last night because I had to work on some stuff, and so did the kids. And so yeah, I may be working fast food again in combination to this one, or if this one flops out or whatever. I have at this point I gotta do what I gotta do. And there's, when you really look at the bills and you see what's incoming and you're no longer afraid of like what's factual, it's just okay, let's figure this out. There's nothing wrong with applying. Like they say, rejection is the best form of protection, and so if that is the case, I am being protected from office work. That's affiliated in it, at least in this time phrase, this chunk. I don't know why I'm getting chunk from the Goonies. I think maybe it's just I feel kind of like goofy and only accepted by a certain crew, which is like the most valuable. But like when people do their picks or trades, that's what it is. Is that what I said before? I don't remember. But for a team, like I knew basketball was never going to be my thing, not only because of my height, but because which Derek Fisher would probably like, like I don't know why I'm saying that, but that's something that's supposed to be told. Like you can still be considered for a certain position without being like the tippity top highly coveted preconception of advantage. So what are we saying here? Holy smokes. Yeah, so there's a lot to do today. A lot. Okay, it's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna pull a couple of cards out, and I'm gonna be good with that, and I'm gonna keep moving on. All right. So, welcome and only welcome to my most ethical light and love crew. Okay? All others I rebuke! Okay, we're using the vice versa tarot. We'll see. Spirit, if you want, if you show me in any particular way, if I need to shut this down, I will shut it down and I'll get back to work. But right now, I need to acknowledge, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you have to believe in yourself. Like, you can't, like, say, like, like, when you're learning stuff and you get shot down X amount of times, you can't let that affect your game on bringing it forward, like, on the next attempts. That is what I've learned. I am gonna tell you, when I'm bringing up gameplay, I'm telling you, I am 4'10", and my parents have not, like, like, as a regular American family, my parents were fixated in, had other sacrifices, like major sacrifices, that they had to make. So when it came to, like, being like one of the crowd and engaging in sports, like, it was just not incomprehensible. Okay. So, there's no lacking there, except, it's a learning process, especially when you step out into, like, the work atmosphere. Like, at least a third of the people, like, thrive on talking about sports and stuff like that. And so that dynamic is clearly, vital, when navigating through, like, several groups. Sometimes that's your ticket in. It's not always like, oh, where did you graduate from? Like, sometimes that's used, but, like, it's kind of like sparingly. Like, that's the added like cream, cherry on top. But when you're looking at associations on a, like, minor arcana level, with triumphs, for sure people are going to be opinionated about their teams. And so, like, I can't say that I'm at a lacking, because I've got the other side. When there's a deficit in a certain arena, you are, so much more facilitative in other arenas. So I gotta say, I got the upper hand in several others. But here we go. This is what I'm saying. Like, with this legal stuff, there's a substitution of applications, an SOA, modified, in order for me to, like, really understand what it's like, to really go out there and, like, not let shit phase you, and I think anybody who is well studied, with life experience to back it, can fully appreciate, that approach. Um, yeah, definitely, because they're so used to it. It's like a dime a dozen with people being stressed out over the situation, whether you're learned or not. So it just makes it so much more aggravating when you're not as, familiar with certain things. So it's like you have to handhold somebody who's, like, one hand, like, somebody that's crying, kicking, and screaming. The other is like, I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. Like, there's that, and then there's different children that you have to deal with, in this learning process of, like, life's many changes. Okay, so we're not just talking about family law here. We're talking about so many instances that are life changing, that involve, I'll say mediation rather than dispute. Okay, that's what we're fixated on. Gee, I don't know what came over me today, but holy smokes, like, I have never sped through these documents like, okay, I got it. Okay. All right, there's that and there's that. Okay, and then let me link. It's insane. So thank you to all of my help out there, the facilitators. Let's say facilitators. Okay, all right. Yeah, we got the star there already, and Queen of Pentacles. Okay, that's a good start. So, Spirit, you just tell me. I will listen to whatever you gotta say on this. No interference. You gotta clear the mind, and you get 10 of Wands. Okay. So there's obviously predecessors, like people who have, like, done the ish. than the most, and like that are very well recognized in order to have a statue, you know, living proof that they existed and they did a lot of stuff. Like, you don't see like a whole community of statues here. No, you see one person standing and you're like, who's that person? So you look at the inscription, and sometimes it's kind of like Scrooge, you know, Scrooge McDuck, Scrooge, where the something about whatever Christmas, like I forget, it's not Nightmare Before Christmas. You know that story. So he looks and it's like his own grave. So this is basically our higher selves, like also coming through. But it's noticing like the huge load that we have to bear, but we're doing it like the smartest. Like, this is one of the smartest like carry-ons that you could ever, like, position characters that 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 is handling the business, you know. So usually these things are not bound, you see. This is very committed energy. Like, I'm gonna, like, I know I have to do this, and I know I may have to do this more than once, so I'm gonna bind this stuff. I'm gonna commit myself to it, and I'm gonna collect the stuff and understand it. The pieces are part of a collective, so the best way to carry it is all together. Especially for the sake of efficiency, you don't want to prolong your the task. Okay, so again, positive affirmation on this Friday being like the end of the month. We said we were gonna manifest. The last week, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. No, the last week I totally forgot about this part. So like I just felt like an overwhelming amount of pressure right now because I'm trying to remember all. Sorry, I got an international call in. I have to screen my calls now because I get a lot of like creditor calls. So like, congratulations, you have been approved for a loan application. It's like, what the why am I getting these things? People. Anyway, so oh my gosh. So collectively speaking, you gotta, like, you have to understand. Okay, so this is, I'm probably gonna have to do this more than once, and voluntarily I would have to say, like, I would have to do it at least, you know, one or two more times, because not just because of the process of dissolution with like pending court dates or whatever, but also for the sake of others, you know. Like, you didn't do this all just for yourself, all just for one reason. If you're comprehending like the gist of these things, and you know, like, you've internalized like the trauma associated with coping and proceeding along, you want to be able to, like, if you have a love for all sentience, you want to be able to save like some heartache for people, like really help them out, like and so there's that. Like, there was like, it dawned on me while going through this stuff and doing the research, like, I'm like, I should have, like, I wish I felt like this, felt the way I felt about this, and, you know, like, full on, like, being in the process, um, a long time ago when I first started into this. But, you know, like, that's just the way life works. It's a journey where, like, you go from one place to another, step by step by step, and like, you wouldn't have gotten to this place if you skipped a couple of steps. And so, I mean, dude, the most experienced people understand that. So like, I just it's not getting down on myself for how much further I could have been along. I mean, I think there's like a little bit of it, but it dawned on me. I was like, huh, maybe a minute, like, what if I studied to become a paralegal, or like whatever, you know? And it, that actually, like, my whole thing on like what do you call it, auditing, and like, I believe I would be very good at it. I would be very, very good at it. So I had the inklings of it, and I was I was open to it. It wasn't anything that generated distaste. But anybody who has understood what I can do on this level of like energetics, and seeing the growth process, I've heard a lot that I could dive into the like most practical pursuits of what this, you know, like the trends here, like what I could apply to myself, to my talents to. And they're like, oh, counsel or counseling, and you know, in some form of like management. And I've heard this also from, you know, superiors. So, you know, it was just something I had to see in myself and acknowledge. But anyway, here we go. Here we go. So we got to do this, and we're doing it. Okay, we're doing it. Spirit. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my doing side. Okay. Actually, this is something that was received. Okay, these are things that are acknowledged. Okay. All right. I'll put it in front of me, like, boop. Okay. Okay. Oh, so we're already set on path 2 because it shows, like, you see, it's like, it's lawnmower over here. But there's, you see? So we're already set on path. Go, my loved one. My loved one. All right, anything else, Spirit, that you gotta say? I'm gonna, I don't want to spend an hour here, so let's do this. Okay. Oh, I got 4 of Wands, and what clicked was this. So I got 4 of Wands, happiness, and 2 of Cups in reverse here. So, at least they're color-coded correctly. At least. Oh, so this is like as above, so below. There's happiness. And there's absolute, oh my gosh, this is celebration, like undercover celebrating my teams, the people that I've been synced with, or that have synced with me, that are, like undercover crew. You see, this is the Ace of Cups. I found this in the, like, recently, like in the past couple of months. You see right over there, that is the Ace of Cups hidden there. Literally, it's I'm not saying like reading it intuitively. That is literally in these cards. That's the Ace of Cups in the distance. So when it's in reverse, all 3 of Cups in reverse, like this is my, you know, this is, and these are people that are like, shh, she needs to get through this. Whoever you are, you need to get through this, okay? Let's not celebrate too early. You can't get distracted with all of that. So, what are we doing? We're, hello, we're building foundations. And the foundations are set. The pillars are erected. Oh, you know what this is? This is a hidden, I'm reading this intuitively. This is a hidden 6 of Wands. Because following this card, what are we doing? We're tracking, okay? This is a 10 of Wands. We have already erected the 4, which means that there are 6 left, which is victory. Victorious. I got the chills. Okay. So we got the Skull of the Ram, which is, I think, Aries. And oh my gosh, it's the full moon in Aries today, I think. I think if I saw that correctly through the grapevine. But like, it is like, you see, it's, I don't want to say it's death, but, oh, so we have like Aries, Scorpionic type of energy here, especially with getting the death card, because I forgot until like yesterday, sometime yesterday, that the death card is the leading card for Scorpio. So, I mean, we've seen that repetitively. So there's strong Aries here, particularly today, and hope there with the dove right there. I'm hearing Dove Shack. I forgot what they sang, but let me hear you say, oh, what is it? Summertime in the LBC? Is that right? I think so. Anyway, but it's very chill music from what I remember. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Aries right there. Okay. Full moon up ahead. But like now this is like also saying, like with the sun rising here, that is this thing, this mountainous thing. I usually don't get this, but because it's off in a distance and it's in reversal, we're no longer making a mountain over a molehill, especially context to what's going on. So it's not going to be just okay. It, like, this positive affirmation is going to be that it's going to be awesome. I mean, dude, come on. Healing. All right. Anything else you want to say? I'm going to pull out like a couple more cards, and then we're going to see where this leads. Okay, we've got, ooh, so good. Okay, 10 of Pentacles, extroverted on the recipient side. Oh my gosh, and look, 5 of Wands in reverse, and the Empress in reverse right behind it. Okay. So, there's no, like, dispute here. There's no internal conflict. We just gotta get, it's not even like, we gotta do what we gotta do. What's done is already done. It is what it is. Like, no more of that, okay? Because that's, like, undercover bullshit. That is the stuff where we're, like, we get in our own way with that. Like, it's the last checkpoint where Spirit's like, okay, are you ready for this? Are you in the right mindset? Are you ready for real? Like, instead of, like, just like, okay, do you have your ducks in a row? No, we want to know if you are okay because you are experiencing this thing, this particular experience. It doesn't, like, it only carries you so far to have all your ducks in a row, but, like, oh my god, this is for this is the last checkpoint. Look at it. Oh my gosh. Shoot, that's insane. It's the last checkpoint. And so when you show that, this is, I think, the top of the deck, yeah. And the bottom of the deck is the Fool card in reverse. Yeah, this is, oh, this is the last checkpoint. It's so insane. It's so insane. I love it. So when there are no longer any, like, internal disputes about what you gotta do, you end up, like, already are, like, one step ahead in the becoming to, like, handling your ish in your empire, and just it's a sense of ownership, but, like, not like ownership. It's like, it's love ownership. And dude, it's so good. Oh yeah, no more mountains over a molehill. Like, do you see, like, how aggro we have been anyway with a particular circumstance or happenstance or whatever you want to call it, stance? For real. Like, I set my alarm. I have several alarms where I can just, like, kind of, like, click on whatever, and they're just presets. And I leave the description kind of as is, and it's kind of this nostalgia thing where it's like, wake up, we're on, like, vacation, or, like, vacay, or, like, early morning sewing, or you know, stuff like that. Like, or at this last job, like, a little over a year ago, I think it was like a year and a half ago, it was it was for engineering or whatever, and, like, the owner, he's such a goofball. He would say something like, we got this client, like, this doing, someone that was submitting, like, intellectual property, and I was supposed to be, like, processing all of that, and it was like meeting with, it was like Keanu or something like that, and he's like, can you believe it, we have a meeting with Keanu. And so anyway, it was, I know when I say it, it's really, like, not that funny, but, like, it was just funny because, like, an owner being so stoked about just his informal dad joke kind of thing, like, the excitement behind it. So anyway, because he was so excited, I wanted to make sure that he was on point for it. So I set a personal alarm on my phone so that I could, you know, make sure, like, he was, like, awaken up to kind of, like, recalibrate before getting into that. Like, did you, like, review these documents or whatever? So anyway, I have a phone, I have, like, a thing that says, like, meeting with Keanu, and then a little emoji of, like, an old-fashioned phone. So anyway, Why do we even bring that up? Oh, look on the bottom. What's showing is the strength card. I mean, let me just verify that because 8 can move to justice. Okay. Yeah, dental check. It is the last like checkpoint. Holy smokes. This is exciting. Like dude, I was really stressing over it, but like there are certain things that like negotiations that you have to make along the way with getting like the most important things done. Like like which would have the biggest reward applying myself to versus like and you have to be like kind of give yourself an ultimatum without like squeezing your brain as far as like what are the penalties if I like miss my 4.5 like call in for my 4.5 hour shift. Like you really got to put that into perspective and not like there's only so much that you can do to control. Like I looked up all this stuff with the requirements and what's needed for, and I also made some personal discoveries along the way. Like holy shit, like certain things that I assumed to be filed, like even though they were shared and submitted documents, it doesn't formally say like like people like I said, you got to break shit down for the courts when you're filing it. It can't be just comprehensive. So I just have to do some like housekeeping with that. And the questionnaire that is absolutely like due like finalized today. I mean, I think there's some considerations. I have to understand that there's some dirty gameplay with like unethical, let's say, with opposing counsel that they will kind of work along the lines of a creditor and try to instill fear in you in order to get what they want and be in like advantageous stance. But like Spirit told me, like I was like starting to stress over that. And then Spirit told me like don't like you can't give into that. They're like it's like last time only, your last chance, this and that, even when you're not looking on the creditor side, you're looking at those propositions that people make upon offer, like, oh, this is an exclusive spa deal, etc. And I'm sorry, this is the only day that we can provide it, like your last and only chance kind of thing. But there are certain considerations that I think the court provides it's within the fine like tunings of what's like the spirit of the law, basically. So you can't give too much weight like in the fear factor. You probably shouldn't at all. I mean, going through this, like I'm not doing this because I'm not jumping into like this thing to to diminish any kind of fear. This is more like, hey, I saw myself in the mirror. I had like my eyes were like all a little they were not pretty, but like they showed that I applied myself. And so this is a pat on the back to myself, acknowledging. So okay, so I'm gonna pull one more here. Okay, first side, it's the Lover's card and the Sun card. Oh, yeah. Day and night, night and day, feeling good about what I'm doing, and I think my my person, my what do you call it? My closest crew, my innermost like core crews, they're cheering me on, and they're definitely helping. They're hand holding me in this process energetically. Yeah, great. It's good. It's good. Definitely. It's so good. Like I didn't even know what to expect. Like to have these, I was told intuitively to look at the right and then to look at the left, like before you cross the road, kind of thing. usually I was like, I don't usually do that, but like I decided no internal struggle, just trust the process and do, do as you're guided. And yeah. Because like it was the one that was like the most like even out of like the whole, you see what I'm saying? Like it just dropped a little bit, but it was the most even out of, so I, you know what I'm talking about. Holy smokes. Yeah, so where I'm putting this stuff? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the flow. Actually, I'll put it right here on top. So I'm going to put it on my recipient side because not only is it like on my inbox, but it's an experience of receptivity. So this ongoing energy will help carry me through to whatever it is that I've got to do. And I'm hungry now, but yeah. Let's pull a card for you. As far as but we're gonna pull from, oh schmackers. What fell here? War in reverse. Oh, so there's definitely this thing of mediation. That's crazy good. Okay, thank God. Holy smokes. Okay, so so I'm gonna pull it from, I think, what is it? Some of the Witches Tarot from last night. So I was gonna pull the whole deck, so whatever, but I'm just gonna pull it like it's just laid out in this like chunk here. So I'm just gonna get it, okay? What is it you want for this pro? The Hierophant in reverse, or the High Priest in reverse. Okay. So it's about being internally grounded. Like this is an antenna as receptor. But it also has the laddering effect, a graduated ladder effect, but like it's knowing that yeah, something like that. I don't know why I said it like that. Inverse graduated effect. I don't know, but it's holding the keys, like being perfectly positioned within those foundations to, it's like X marks the spot. You're perfectly positioned to be exactly where you're at and make what you can out of it. But mind you, yesterday I received a 5 of Pentacles, like, I think, extroverted. It was in sequence to, like, just like an offline read for myself, like just a motivator. And for the first time, I truly didn't see any like harm in that. It was like, no, it was just straightforward. Do with what you got, and that suffices. This is like also a breakthrough, like a calling of a breakthrough, because I see the red robe, but I'm hearing like red rover, bring, Tina right over. Then you like storm, you pick the link where you can, kind of like the weakest link, but like the part where you can see the most noticeable breakthrough. It's not an essence of warring, but like developments, like whenever you do an add-on, you have to have like some formal entry point in order to connect. Like it's not just an adjacent type of build on. It's an improvement, which allows for like expanded feng shui, so higher capabilities. So when you do that, when you like penetrate a certain area, let's say like the fertilization of an egg, that kind of thing, it's not like damaging the thing. It's meant to build growth. So when you're asserting yourself, Tina, with the red rover, in your red rover, you access this point, and it's not like, oh, that's the weakest link. No, with other sentience, no, and you're like, when I make that point, oh my gosh, I just touched my lips. It's crazy. I've never done that. But it, like, once you assert yourself in that area, it's without the like thought, like I'm not going to see these people again. Like, it's, I'm going to hold hands with these people. So like You know what I mean? So it's not like a kind of like a one night stand type of deal where like one and done. It's it's more of, there's no intention to harm in this. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely freaking lutely. And I'm told to put it right on top of the 10 of Wands. So, remember why you're doing this. And I was like appalled to see um our son, our younger son, as a minor, to be called upon the witness stand, like as an add-on. Just like I got that email this morning, and it generated some feelings in there for me. But then I prayed, like I visited my son like while he was sleeping, and I just like just did some prayer. Just like I was trying not to do that, but if just anyway, um, yeah. So I prayed, and that was the start of that, like, intention and offering. But you know what? Happy full moon, I think, in Aries. I have to do my homework on that, but that's not after, like, only after I do my other stuff. So I think that's it for tonight or today. Oh, we're not doing an hour. Okay, bye for now. And again, thank you to my light and love crews. Seriously. Okay, so upon closing, oh, and also thank you. I gotta say, for respecting my time, my space, my energy, my work, my essence, my health and wellness, and that of my children's. So upon closing all portals, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine with their appropriate karmas to assisting with that sequence of rollout. In light and love, I close all portals. Now.